Guys, a wild game has appeared. Let's take a look on this week.
You sound so not startled.
It wasn't loud at that moment.
Guys,
We were walking through the grass. We kind of knew what was coming up.
guys, a wild game appeared.
Slow down, sing it.
Got a love that keeps on fighting.
It was a good one.
It keeps on. I got a heart that keeps on trying. It keeps on. We got this plan that keeps evolving. It keeps on. Even when our hope is broken, we keep on.
Wait, hold on. Maybe just drop something. Oh, there it is.
Dramatic weather. There we go. Just a week away. Forza Horizon 2 comes out on September 30th, guys. Obviously, Microsoft Xbox One exclusive, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. We've done this before, guys. Sunset Overdrive. There's plenty of Xbox guys in here because they watch from their Xbox or they watch from their PC, so we want to cover those big games as well. Got a bunch of gameplay footage for you guys to look at while we talk about Forza Horizon 2. If you guys don't know, this is the second in the series from Playground Games. This is not Turn 10. Horizon was the first one for Playground Games. They worked on some other racing stuff. I think it was Project Gotham Racing.
Yes.
And then they moved on to Horizon 2.
And I prefer their style a little bit more
Than
normal
Motorsport.
Forza,
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's not quite as simulation.
It's more
heavy.
arcadey, and I like that. I don't like racing games normally in general, so this is just more.
Now this is coming.
Welcome.
Thank you for the Twitch follow. We will acknowledge that at the end of the show. But this is coming out for both Xbox One and Xbox 360. But Playground is the one focusing on Xbox One. They're trying to hit 1080p, 30 frames per second. And then you've got the Xbox 360 version being developed by Sumo Digital. You've probably heard of them before. And they are using the original Forza Horizon Xbox 360 engine for that version of the game, while the Playground gets to use the Motorsport 5 engine and even develop further on top of that.
Really defined, like even almost Drive Club levels.
Yeah, it's a beautiful engine, but they've taken it a step further, actually, I would say, because this one's not 60 frames per second, it's 30 frames per second, but they're using that to add onto the graphical engine. We'll get into that. The major difference between Motorsport and Horizon is that Horizon is open world. And just like the first Horizon, the sequel takes place during the Horizon Festival. It's like a music festival. And this time it is located in southern Europe and southern France and northern Italy are the main focuses of this game, as opposed to Horizon, which I think was Colorado. I think we'll get into that a little later, though. This one will have events in Provence, Tuscany, and Côte d'Azur, among other regions. Overall, though, there are 3 times more drivable area in Horizon over the original Horizon 2 over the original on Xbox.
Right, which is really cool because now they're bringing almost like an off-road sense to it, which is really awesome. So it's not all you're going down the road and you go off the road, turn around. They want you to go off.
You saw it in the trailer actually. They give an example of them going up and just breaking through a fence and going off road, and that's actually going to help with other things as well, like Drivatars. We'll get into that. Moving on from that. You can go through vineyards, forests, up a hill, anywhere you want. The 3 philosophies, though, behind Playground's game, Horizon, is beauty, freedom, and fun. Those are the 3 big things, and that's always been their thing. But now with next-gen hardware, they're really able to fully realize those philosophies. The original Forza Horizon, as I was saying, was in Colorado, but the team always talked about doing northern Italy, southern France, all those kind of things. But they always thought, like, okay, let's do just Italy. But now with this, they're doing Italy, France, Southern Europe in general. They're doing so much more than they ever could have done with Forza Horizon 2. And they're tackling all these areas, the foothills of the Alps, the hills of Tuscany, all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. All those things will be touched on in Forza Horizon 2, and they especially wanted visual diversity is what they call it in this one especially. That also affects the way the gameplay works, the driving works, obviously. The tight claustrophobic streets of Tuscany are obviously going to feel a lot different than 80 to 100 meter wide roads of Côte d'Azur that allow for probably 250 mile per hour racing going in and out of traffic. So that's going to be a much different gameplay scenario, and that's why it's great that they were able to do different locales to allow for those different types of moments. Now, with Horizon 2 using the Forza 5 engine, as we talked about, they had a massive head start with developing this game. They pretty much already had it up and running. So, because of that, their challenge, as they said, in this game was to really make that dynamic. Quote, to make those systems work and combine in a vast world at any time of day and in any atmosphere or weather condition, we also had to make that scale. We have a huge world which we need to fill with light from headlights, light from street lights. Go ahead. If you have it up.
Nope, I don't.
Okay. Horizon 1, there was that dynamic day-night cycle.
Right.
We've had that before, but the big thing that they're adding in this one is dynamic weather. We saw it in the trailer. This is one of the reasons lighting was so important to the team. They have a quote here.
Right. They said, with Horizon, we pushed the dynamic lights in the headlights. Now every single light in the scene is dynamic, which is only something we've been able to achieve with the switch to when we switch to a next-gen platform. The headlights themselves are no longer just standard dynamic lights. They've actually got modeled in arboration with chromatic arboration from a proper headlight, which is why when you drive around the scene and you see the headlights reacting to certain objects, you'll see a slight rainbowing on them around the edges, very similar to what you would see through your windshield or anything like that. It's all down to a particular part of the system.
Yeah, that's why especially the dynamic weather effects are even more important, because when you have rain on the road and you've got this dynamic lighting system, all these different points of light, like headlights, like street lights, that's going to reflect off the puddles, all those kind of things, the rain itself. If you've got a headlight, shining through the rain is actually going to be lit. Right. You're going to light up raindrops, and that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see in this, as well as Drive Club, but that's what Next Gen offers, and it's really cool. Other features include what's called the bucket list and car meets. Now, bucket list is similar to the 1000 Club, which they brought back. You saw it in the trailer, the 1000 Club, with a group of challenges for the driver to complete. Both France and Italy have their own set of challenges. Now, Playground looks at the challenges more like dares. Now, this is a quote from them. They said, like, I dare you to take a Raptor and bomb through the forest at night with only your headlights lighting the way. That would be a challenge of hundreds of challenges that you could take on. And the way challenges work is that you'll be driving around and you'll just see like a really nice car parked on the side of the road. You park, you go up to that car,
and
you just get into it randomly, and then it'll present a challenge to you for you to take on, a tuned challenge as they call it. So that's really cool.
But the car meets are actually really entertaining. I think that's the big thing, just like Drive Club. With car meets is similar to Forza Vista mode, and allows players to come together and compare their cars. It's like a hangout area where players can just chat as well, but most importantly, they can share their work, such as customization and tunes, while being compensated for the exchange. And multiple people can hang out with the car meets, challenge each other, and immediately return back to the hangout.
Yeah, it's really cool. Kind of, in a way, it reminds me of PlayStation Home. Does that sound weird?
Yeah, I guess that. I was going to say it's basically Fast and the Furious meets video games.
Yeah, you just get together, you talk with each other, you hang out, have a little mic party, and it's like, okay,
ready shifted, not double.
Hey, you want to go drive around a little bit, and then they can jump back to their car meets. They can share their car. They can look at each other's car, go in and out of each other's cars, and look at all the detail you put in. Because obviously Forza's always had a lot of customization when it comes to the cars. That's something that they're very good with the Forza series.
I really like your car.
Yeah. You want to share this? I'll pay you for it.
Because I know how dead that's going to be for a little while.
Now, speaking of cars, as we were talking about, there will be approximately 200 in the main game. That includes exotics, rally cars, trucks, hot hatches, and, of course,
now 150 of them you have to pay for.
I hope not.
Oh, wait.
No. I think the 200 are included with the game. That's the 200 you get. What happens after that, I have no idea. But with other 700 events to take part in, besides the ones we were talking about earlier, like the challenges, Playground is also promising that at least 100 hours will be needed to reach 100% completion on this game.
Now, the one thing that might be a little jarring for people is that Drivatars are back, but they're definitely making more sense for a style of game rather than motorsport. With Motorsport, for people who weren't very familiar, in Forza 5, they caused the AI to act like bumper cars.
Yeah.
It was really inconvenient, really brought down.
Because that's the way people act.
Right.
Online.
Right. So, then, and I got caught up. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. That's how they act in real life. However, with the freedom of Horizon 2 and the ability to go off-road through fences and over hills,
like we're seeing right now,
and
guys,
shortcuts like that, perfect. The AI is going to be a lot more realistic and dynamic with the way that they approach a race. And any training done towards your Drive the Tower Motorsport 5 transferred over to the Horizon Motorsport.
Great news.
2, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about Drive Guitars. If you guys don't know it, it uses the cloud to look at what people are doing in their races, how they actually act, and they're adapting the actual AI within the game to act more like humans based on how people act when they play together online. And in Motorsport, that's what people do. They go into a turn and they just smash into each other.
They don't know how to slow down. And
they do it on purpose. They try to take people off the road, and people got frustrated because the AI never really acted that way. That was more something that was exclusive to assholes online.
Right, okay.
So they were like, oh, I don't like this. Now the AI is doing exactly what people do online. I don't want that. But in this, since, as you were saying, since you go off-road, that's really cool.
Right.
And it's going to open up a lot of different avenues for people to take, and also for even the Drivatars to take.
Right, because they can, instead of going off, right into your car, a lot of them are going to just go right off the road. They might take a shortcut that you don't know about.
Yeah.
And screw you over, or it could really benefit you.
It's really cool, and you're going to find new shortcuts by watching what the AI does, hopefully, because the AI is going to be based off of your friends list and what they're doing. If they did something you don't know about, you're going to see that through the Drivatars. Really cool. So, guys, Forza Horizon 2 does come out on September 30th for Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Yes.
Looks really cool. We got Drive Club to look forward to on PlayStation. We've been talking about that a lot as well. But if you're an Xbox guy, this is your racing game for the year for sure. Along with Sunset Overdrive is another big one for you. Master Chief Collection coming soon. So, really cool stuff.